Morning, everyone. It's Sunday right here in the heart of Hollywood, and I am here for Klugula Reads' Classics, episode number 16. And today we will be tackling chapter 4 of Below the Surface. For those of you who've been following along for the past 3 days, you'll know that we're getting deeper and deeper into the meat of this particular underwater adventure, something I wrote at age 15, and again was my response to the movies of 1989, The Abyss, Leviathan, Deep Star 6, and all those other Lords of the Deep. That's the other one. So yeah, this is my response to that. So we're going to move into chapter 4, and let's get going. Yeah. Chapter 4. In the men's sleeping quarters, Wade and James sat on the chairs in the room. You better lay off her, man. Your ass is going to be in deep shit. Walter will kick your motherfucking ass out into the water. Okay, there's some language here. You better believe it, too. Wade reclined in the chair, his legs over the arm. That idiot is a lazy-ass wimp. I'd kick his butt out in that water. James took another drink from his beer can and set it next to the other 7 to 8 cans next to him on the end table. The room began to shake. Ah, shit, man, not again. This is a bunch of bullshit. Better take hold of something. The noise became louder, and the room shook even more. The beer cans fell to the floor, at which James and Wade crouched. Shit, man. James got up after the current went by. Wade looked at him and laughed. You're drunk, man. Everyone here? Walter paced in front of the members of his crew. Apparently a switch in scene there. Walter paced in front of the members of his crew. I assume you all had a good night's sleep. He glanced over to Alyssa. Good. He answered himself. Now we get to go to work. Moans and groans arose from the group. Come on now, we're here for this, not to screw around. You got your jobs. Let's move it out, people. Clearly a reference to Aliens, Apone. Walter left the room behind everyone else. In the Bay Area, the 4 underwater people tried fitting into their suits. The suits were large, bulky outfits that were made especially for this type of work. They were brand new, never worn, never tested in this water with this much pressure. Laurie and Carrie were helped into their suits by Wade and James, and the air was turned on. You guys need help? Laurie turned to them, her voice now muffled from the suit, but still clear enough to be heard. We'll manage, thanks. Wade began to get into his own underwater suit. James climbed into his. Walter came in at that moment. You 4 ready? He checked all of their suits, making sure everything was closed tight. Looks like it. Okay, people, we're opening the airlock. Be careful down there. You've got 4 hours worth of air in there. When the gauge reads 45 minutes left, head back immediately. Got it? Walter helped them into the water. Alan came up behind him. Can I talk to you? Alan watched the 4 underwater people begin to leave. Walter watched as James gave him a dirty look and disappeared out of sight. Yeah, what is it? Walter turned and gave him his attention. I've been looking through everyone's records, and I came across something rather peculiar. It's... Alan stopped. What, Alan? Walter pushed him to say it. Spit it out. Carrie Gordon is relation to Johnson Lapierre, distantly, but they are related. Pause. Johnson Lapierre was the guy from the prologue of the story. Go back and watch the previous episodes. So yeah, that's of importance here, folks. Alan put his hands on his chin and thought for a moment. Walter watched him for a second before he spoke. So what? Is that a problem? Maybe. If she knew him rather well, even though they were distant, she's emotionally unstable. She may not be able to handle it if she encounters something of him out there. Interesting. Some of that foreshadowing from yesterday is actually creeping in. Excuse me. Wonderful. Just what we need down here is some mental patient. Wonderful. Walter began to pace. Maybe I won't have her go down there anymore. You can't do that. Her finding new life is part of this mission. Alan went over to the airlock. Maybe she won't find anything. Well, doesn't she know who we're looking for? She must know. Walter stopped next to Alan and then began to pace again. She does, but if she actually sees him, his remains, it'll set her off. Alan continued to stare at the water. Maybe she'll be okay. He paused for a minute. Why the hell is she down here? Walter left the room for the control room. Alan stood by the water, watched, and waited. Okay, that's a shorter chapter. So tomorrow we can play with these things again. So we'll move into chapter 5 tomorrow. Once again, this is chapter 4 today of Below the Surface, a story I wrote at age 15. I'm just kind of shocked that there was a little bit of foreshadowing from the previous chapter today, which I thought was just really bad writing. But I'm like, oh, that's coming into play later. So if you guys are further interested in these tales, obviously Below the Surface is going to go on for quite some time. We're actually about, I think, 60 pages of total, and we're on page 23 beginning tomorrow. So we're only about a third of the way through. So if you're interested, go ahead and subscribe below, and stay up to date on all these wonderful tales from my past. And I guess that's about it. So we'll close with the usual quadruple S. Please stay safe, smart, secure, and well stocked. And I will certainly see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.